Good evening, YouTube. This is Kaylin String coming at you with my regular Sunday night dinner. And as I posted in a teaser on both the community tab on my main channel page and in an MRE group that I'm in, I'm going to turn this vegetarian menu 14 cream spinach fettuccine into a more substantial meal. And I said that I would have a surprise. Well, I will open up this MRE that I got from foreignmre.com, along with a couple other rations, a couple other MREs in the same order. And that's the same place where you can get this awesome titanium foreignmre.com spork. And this foreign MRE mug. This is a 2019 MRE. This is packed by Spinach. And they put the date code on here. So down here, you just flip it to the tail end or the bottom of the bag. Sometimes you have to flip it over like this to the back or like that upside down to see the date code, but they didn't do that with this one. So I have 2 pots of water on the stove because I don't use the ration heaters while at home, except on maybe a rare occasion I might do it, but so many other channels show the ration heaters that it's just, I think it's kind of redundant that they do that. So I am working the peelable seal with my thumbs. See, you can tell where the peelable seal is. It's supposed to, the seal goes up and then back down to a horizontal line. Sometimes these things work. Sometimes you just rip the bag. Let's see, I see Angry Blacksmith, Huga Homestead, and Mike in the house. Well, this time, my thumb went into the bag and not out the other side. And you can also tell a Spinach from an Ameriqual is Spinach like Warnick. They do not double bag. So everything is loose here. See, Ameriqual is the only one that uses the inner bag, but Spinach uses it for the newer halal MRE starting with, I think, 2019 production. Let's see, Yossi is in the house pulling an all-nighter all the way from Israel. So I will be putting my trash into this bag, but I save all these little stickers. I peel them off and I just plaster them all over my sticker boards. Let's see what we got here. So this is the cream spinach fettuccine. $9107 is a date code on this. Got the best flavor of the First Strike bars, the cran raspberry. Those are awesome. Got the plain crackers. We got a chocolate protein drink powder. So because this is a vegetarian ration, they supplement protein with one of these. Let's see, Booger Butt and Booger Butt are in the house. Crushed red pepper. So this is just loose, separate from the accessory pack. Got peanut butter. Got the spoon, which I don't use because I use the foreign MRE fork, but I save all these spoons. They just go into my collection. And then the beverage bag, which I don't use because, I got my drinking jar. Plus, I like to save these bags. Then got the accessory kit. This has an A on it, so it's accessory kit A. Got honey mustard and onion pretzels, and by the way, they feel. There's Rachel Sunshine in the house. These are the combos. I can feel the salt on the surface plus the shape. So here is the sleeve for the spinach. It has this huge ingredients list on it and the nutritional info. And just some more general military nutritional guidelines that they put on some of these sleeves. Sometimes you get the nutritional stuff for an additional item on the back of this. But so I save all these ration heaters because I want to have a good supply of them in case there does come a time where I would actually need to use these. So I'm just going to get that sleeve back into the MRE bag. I'll go ahead and I'm going to move spinach fettuccine over there. Let's see who else is here. Crazy Nitro in the house. Thanks for dropping in. So in this accessory packet, you get the Bill's Brew coffee. That goes into the mug. The cinnamon, and this is the peppermint gum. The non-dairy coffee creamer. That goes into the mug. A packet of salt. The wet wipe. Matches, which I also save. Might not want to focus, but these are D.D. Bean and Sons matches. They've been doing the matches for the U.S. MREs for a long time. As sugar goes into the mug. And the Lighthouse rear roll. Let's see, so the peanut butter would be for the crackers. This does not have the standard drink mix like the orange or the lemon lime or the fruit punch or tropical punch or anything like that. It just has this chocolate protein drink powder. These are very, very hard to mix. There is creative redundancy in the house, thanks for dropping in. Now I will show you the surprise on what I'm going to do with this fettuccine. This is the plain chicken chunks. And if you remember when I unboxed those 3 MREs from Foreign MRE in that last order that I got, this was one of the menus. And I rated that one to get the chicken chunks. So that one does not have a flameless ration heater. So I rated that to get this because I want to combine this with this to make it a more substantial meal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put both of these into the pot on the stove after I put the coffee, creamer, and sugar into the mug. Actually, I will mix this up first and let it sit in the bag before I pour it into my drinking jar, because I want to make sure that it thoroughly dissolves, and there is no tear notch on this pouch. Well, actually, just barely one. And it almost ripped below the Ziploc. Because there's so much powder in here, the top of the powder is here. And the fill line is here, so it doesn't look like it would be a full 8 ounces of water. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to pour a full 8 ounces in here. So that's not quite half of the bottle. And I'm just going to stand it up in between my drinking jar and the water bottle. Now I will go put these in the pot, and I'll grab the kettle for the coffee, and I'll be right back. I just took the kettle back into the kitchen just to get it out of the way. There is the coffee mixed up. I will open up the rest of this stuff. That dark spot is just a couple of the cranberries that are right at the surface. I'm going to put that right there. There is Jay in the house. Thanks for dropping in. I thought this was a tear notch here, but there we go. Oh, that's different. Oh, these are not combos. I thought these are combos, but actually I might put them over here. These are like the Snyder's pretzels, these honey mustard and onion pretzels. Snyder's is a snack brand here in the U.S. that makes a lot of pretzel snacks or snacks that are that include pretzels. So there's a close-up of what it looks like. That looks like the spots from where it was on like a wire mesh when these are baked. I'm giving the peanut butter a knead. I'll see if we can get a hiss out of these crackers. There's a very slight hiss. I don't know if you heard that. I tried to do it right up to the mic, but sometimes the hiss doesn't always come out in the audio very well. Oh, a few crumbs. Again, for those that are just joining in, this is 2019 US MRE Creamy Spinach Fettuccine. And I will be adding a pouch of the chicken chunks from another US MRE. And I threw something else in its place. So I put that one back in the box. So I'm going to have a little fun with that one. So I'm going to pour a little bit more water in here. And that should be about the 8 ounces. Giving it another shake. And we'll see if this helped it mix up any better. So that seemed to help. I'm going to grab a light. You can sort of see down in the bottom. Of course, I can also stir it too. I'm just going to scroll back through the chat just to make sure I have seen everybody that has come in. And it looks like I'm all caught up. Oh, that was awesome. I think he really got a kick out of that one. I'm going to go ahead and break a cracker, and I'm going to put some of this peanut butter on a piece. Oh, that I just popped an air bubble. That was weird. At least it didn't explode. So there is a peanut butter on the cracker. Oops, I just flipped it. Oh well, there we go. It landed on the table though. My pouches should be done, so I'm going to go ahead and get them. And I'll be right back. I am back. I got a paper towel to wipe the pouches off, so they're not easier to handle. So this one is the spinach fettuccine. And then this one is the chicken chunks. I'll dry that one off. This one almost feels like it has a tear notch right there on the side, but it actually is right here. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and tear it this way just a little bit. Now I'm going to drain off all the broth into here. There's a little chicken that's coming out, but I'll get that. I'll just lean that up against the mug. And you can see by the way I'm moving these pieces of the chicken. So I can probably do it like this. And I'll just leave that back there for the time being. Now this one, this is a spinach. There is puppy breath in the house. So when I open these on the side, I shake the food down so it's below the tear notch. Well, that had a much better rip. Some people don't like this spinach fettuccine. I happen to like it. There we go, get my tray back in focus here. So there is the fettuccine with the chicken in it. I'm just mixing it in. I do have the crushed red pepper off to the side. So if I choose to put that in there, I can. I am going to go ahead and give my protein shake another mix. Some people have actually put the coffee into these shakes and then done them hot. or cold. I have not done that yet, but maybe one of these days I might. I just stuck the cracker with peanut butter myself. I guess I'll go ahead and eat this first. Well, that's okay, Rachel. I'll eat this one for you. This has mushrooms in it. So for people who either don't like mushrooms, either flavor or texture, or they cannot eat them, then they definitely should not get this one. But I happen to like mushrooms. The chicken definitely adds flavor to this. The noodles are very, very soft as expected. Get that one to drop off. They're still holding together, but they're very, very soft, as you would expect for noodles that have been in the retort for even a couple years. This is packed in just about the middle of 2019. So it's about a year and a half old. But putting the chicken in it does give it more of that salty flavor that this is otherwise lacking, because it does not taste like it has a whole lot of salt in it, although I'm sure it does. But putting the chicken in here improves the flavor of this a whole lot. These bites here are not quite as crunchy as I thought they would be, but this is what the inside looks like. It basically looks like it's the inside, looks like the cracker in color. The flavor is totally on the outside. The Snyder's version, when you get the Snyder's brand, they're actually a little bit more flavorful. You get more of the honey, more of the mustard. And they're a little bit crunchier because they're actual pretzels and not these things that are more like a bread bite. But they're still not bad. I'm going to take a drink of this. Even with the second shake I did and mixing it up, there's still bits of the powder that have not dissolved, but it's not as bad as the last time I did one of these. There is Aletha in the house. Thanks for dropping in. (2019) menu 14 creamy spinach out of fettuccine with added chicken chunks. No standard drink powder, but the chocolate protein shake makes up for the protein that you are lacking from the main, since this doesn't have meat in it. Well, it didn't until I added it. The peanut butter will get you some protein. The first strike bar might get you some protein. And as I said earlier, in order to do this the way I wanted to do it, I raided the MRE that had the chicken chunks in it, took that pouch out, and I put another pouch in there instead. So I got that one plus two others. Got this one, that chicken chunks MRE, plus another one from foreign MRE in one order. So I'll be switching in between those and my two MCWs and an Arctic field ration that I got from Mike. Plus I have an older tan bag MRE that is also in the mix. So the way I've got things ordered in my ration box, the Stroganoff MCW will be next Sunday. You might be hearing some meows from Pumpkin. She's roaming around and meowing just for the sake of it. I might bust up these crackers, or at least part of a cracker. Put that in here. That'll give it a little bit of texture, even though it won't take long for these cracker bits to soften up. So right now there'll be a little bit of crunch in there. And I'll put some more peanut butter on this piece of cracker. There's Pete in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Well, I hope your wait isn't too long before you have to hit the rail, so to speak. If one of you guys would type in the chat that I thanked him for dropping in and that I hope he doesn't have to wait long for his train. So that would be appreciated if you would do that. I cannot type in the chat on my phone, so at least I don't think I can. No, it just gives me chat options. That's all it does. I can't type in the chat on my phone. I can only choose different options to do, like something with moderators or whatever. I'm going to go ahead and eat another one of these. If these didn't have the honey flavor, I would probably bust a couple of these up and drop them in here. So hopefully Pete will have a nice, pleasant ride home or wherever he's going by train. Only train travel I have ever done is in the Chicago subways back in 2012. I was up there for a few days, and I was probably hitting those trains 3 or 4 times a day while I was there. I'm going to take a bite of this First Strike Cran Raspberry Bar. This is Smokey's favorite First Strike bar, too. Both fruit flavors are about equal. And this one doesn't dominate all the other. It's got crispy bits in there. The smell of this is absolutely awesome. I wouldn't mind having 100 of these things. As I would eat them all the time. Speaking of the First Strike bars, I don't know if there has ever been any noise about possibly adding another flavor like a peanut butter. Now, there are peanut butter dessert bars. Those are really good. I do enjoy those. The first Strike bar that I ever tried was, I believe, a mocha. And then I tried a chocolate one. I really enjoy those. The apple cinnamon was the most recent one that I had gotten a hold of as far as the order of these. I had one of these for the first time before I had an apple cinnamon one. Those have a slightly different texture. They are more like the cereal bar, more like a granola bar. Now, there's more of that cereal bar texture than this, and it's not as shiny on the outside. And these remind me of the power bars that I've had when I first started checking those out. They're kind of like this. I haven't had a power bar recently, so I don't know if they have changed their recipe or what, but I might get one next time I go shopping just to try one out. I've been trying different bars that I would keep in my purse or get home bag or bug out bag, but I've taken all of those out because they have either hit or passed their best by date, or they have gotten so squished that they're hard to get out of the wrapper, or they'd stick to the wrapper. So I have taken all of those out, and I want to replace them with something else. I've even taken the nut butters out because they needed to be rotated. And what I've done is I have put, in my get home bag and my bug out bag, I have put in some of those Chinese ration blocks that I have multiples of the various flavors. So I have been putting those in there. I don't have to worry about those melting. But I don't want to have any of those in my purse because they are pretty big. I mean, I could take them out of the brown wrapper, but I really don't want to do that. I want something that's individually wrapped. I can stick in there and just rotate as I need to. So I've had the Cliff bars. I've had some other bars. Those RX bars, I've tried some of those, different flavors. They're pretty good. I've had, the Lara bars. But sometimes I just want to change it up. Now that it's getting colder, I might put the chocolate covered ones or ones that have chocolate in it. I might or I might not. I just don't want to have to deal with anything melting. Even though in winter I do not have my heat set very high. No, I don't think I've had the lemon one. I've had other flavors, but I don't think I've had the lemon one. So I may have to get one of those and try it. The Larabar flavors that I have tried so far have not seemed all that dry to me. Cliff Bars, a lot of those are very dry. But I have eaten a few different flavors of those. They're not bad, it's just some of them are really dry. Oh, Pumpkin, you be careful back there. Pumpkin likes to get on everything. You know, she's a 2-year-old. I guess you could say she's a toddler cat. Oh, she's interested in this thing that has the chicken broth in it. She jumped off my table. I'm not sure if I want to go ahead and let her drink it. I'm not one for feeding animals quote-unquote human food, although I have given Mila canned tuna in the past. Just a small amount to see how she would take it. But where Pumpkin lived before she came to me, she did get wet food on occasion. I have wet food, I just haven't given her any yet. But she has adjusted pretty well. It's just that Mila is still jealous and will harass Pumpkin. I yell at her, but you know, I tell her she's acting more like a 2-year-old and Pumpkin is acting more like an 18-year-old, you know. She's acting like an adult. But Pumpkin is a good girl. Pumpkin! Pumpkin! Come here, Pumpkin. Show that pretty pumpkin face. Pumpkin. See, can I zoom? Oops, that was a little too fast zoom. She's over there. There's a pretty, pretty pumpkin. I'll zoom back to normal. And I'll put you back in the mount. There we go. But pumpkin is about, I'd say she's about 10 pounds. Maybe a little more. She's about 1.5 times the size of Mila. And when she purrs, she's got a motor running. Mila is sleeping on my bed like a lazy cat. Pumpkin sleeps out here because Mila is jealous of Pumpkin. She doesn't stay in the bedroom at night with me, but Mila does. Of course, that's her domain anyway. She takes over the bed when I'm not laying down. But Mila likes to get under the covers with me. So yeah, my fettuccine's all gone. I ended up not using the crushed red pepper. But this will go into my, one of my seasoning packets. Or since I don't use the salt from MREs or other rations, I save them. So they are part of my emergency supplies, or I can barter them. Or if I have to use a ration heater, I may throw the salt in it. Especially the older ones. That salt usually helps out the older ration heaters kick off. But since this one is a 2019, the date on it. There we go, it's right here at the bottom. $9091, so I'm pretty sure this one would work pretty well, but then even sometimes some of the newer ones have been known to fail on people. But nevertheless, I keep them. They are one option I have for creating a little heat I could warm up a retort I have, or I could take instant coffee, put it in here with sugar and creamer, toss it in the ration heater, and heat it up that way. Other YouTubers have done that, but I haven't. But that would be one way of making up coffee or even tea. You could put a tea bag in there or instant tea. I suppose you could even do hot cocoa in there, but I have yet to try that. But like I said earlier, I keep all these bags because they are not only good to have a way to carry water, and you could put a water purification tablet in here. You could put things in here to keep them dry. So that's another reason why I keep all these beverage bags. I could put some papers in there that I want to keep dry. I could put some fire starters in there that I'd want to keep dry. Or I could just put packets of drink mixes in there to keep them dry. Anything like that I want to keep dry in my pack. That's what I save these bags for. And because I also save these spoons, they go into a bag of other spoons that I've collected. Over the few years that I've been doing this, and nipping the occasional utensil from a restaurant. I don't do it all the time, but I will nip now and then. Sometimes I've gone to events where I've had a box lunch, and I would save the utensils that I did not use. I would save any condiments like salt and pepper that I might not use or whatever, and I bring them home and add them to my stash. Same with any unused napkins. I have even nipped an extra napkin from a restaurant. Say when I go to Gursha, which is an Ethiopian restaurant that opened up last year. I have been going there on and off because I have been given gift cards, so I will get a meal. Sometimes I would nip a straw and bring that home, add that to my collection of straws. I nip an extra napkin. If I don't use it, I bring it home. If I don't use a utensil, or I accidentally pull two out, or accidentally on purpose, I will bring that extra home. So that's one way to build up a collection that you can use in case you have to severely conserve your water and not wash dishes as often as you would now. So that's why I do it. I have a bag of forks. I'm on my, like I said, I have a bag of spoons. I even have a bag of plastic knives. I liberated a whole bunch of those from the mosque because we hardly use them, but we have probably 2,000 of those there now. I mean, the plastic knife makes a great coffee stir, so put them out for that. But other than that, we hardly use them. We mostly use spoons and forks. Well, Mike, you sent off a bunch of spoons? You're not sending them to me, are you? Because, I'm good on the spoons for a while. And because I have more spoons than forks, I have bought forks small packages of them to add to my supply. And of course I get the occasional spork from a ration. So I save all those. The only one I'm missing is that one little baby spork that's only about that long when it's unfolded, that came out of that French RCIR that customs rated. That was not in the stove kit, and it should have been, so I think they rated it and used that to eat my 3 meat items. I think that's what happened to that little spork. Oh, that's still a little crooked. There we go. Sorry about that. But yeah, I even saved those little things. And a few times I've gotten those drink pouches or boxes that have a little straw on it. I don't use those straws. I pop the hole and I squeeze it out into a glass. And I just drink it that way, and then I just put those little straws in my bag with other straws. So that adds to my supply of those. That's awesome, Mike, that you sent them to her. You're helping her build up her supply. So these also get saved. I got a Ziploc bag full of these. I got Ziploc bags full of these. I'm not much of a gum chewer, but I saved this gum. I used to be more of a gum chewer when I was in my teens, 20s, and 30s. But I just haven't really been much of a gum chewer lately, but I do keep it. Don't worry, Elise, it was all bad. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Just for the heck of it, I'm going to stick this on there. That's actually not too bad. It's quite dry with the cracker and these things, but because the mustard flavor is not very prevalent in these bites, the peanut butter and the honey actually complement each other. It would be nice if the mustard was more prominent in these. Plus, it would be nice if these are more crunchy. But they're still not bad. Again, I would prefer Snyder's. Bill's Brew. It's okay coffee. It gets the job done. It's not like the old classic Type 1 or even Type 2. I prefer the Type 2 over the Type 3, but the 1 is even better. But it's very hard to get those because you don't see those too much anymore. I don't think they even put out a Type 1 at all. I think they've gone more towards the Bill's Brew. Or they will do the cappuccinos or mochas instead of the Type 1 and Type 2 and Type 3 coffees. But I have one Type 1 in my bag of Ration coffees. And that's staying there. I want to hold on to that one, I guess. The other one I drank, and it was really good. I really liked that one. But still, the Bill's Brew is it's a decent coffee. It's got nothing on the Chilean coffee and the DAF rations or the Dow Egbert that used to be in British rations. Now there's a coffee in there that I have not tried yet, so I would have to get a current ORP in order to get one of those, unless someone just happens to send me one. But yeah, the Dow Egbert, that is my favorite foreign ration coffee. And I have probably one or two of those in my bag of Ration coffees. But the newer ones and ORPs I haven't had yet, since I haven't had a newer version of the ORP in the bag. I do hope to get one of those. Yeah, the Nescafe 3-in-1. The classic one is good, but CT had sent me some of the hazelnut 3-in-1. And those are really good. Of course, I still prefer my G7 3-in-1. That I have bought from Asian stores. There is a Shadow Scout Swede. Second farthest from here, behind Yossi. By the way, speaking of Yossi, he's got a video up on his channel. He put out an intro video, and I watched that earlier today. Actually, I had that on during the Ration Museum stream. I just put that up on a phone and had that going. So I dropped a comment. He did a very nice job with that one, and he gave some teasers about what's coming up. Some stuff that he's working on. So it will be awesome to see what Yossi starts doing. After all, he is a chef, or has been. I'm not sure if he's working now. I'm sure he will say that. Whenever he wants, or what he's, where he's at. But he has been in some live streams. Wide Family Farm, he's been in one of her streams. He's been in, I think, one or two others as a panel guest. There is JW Speaker in the house. Thanks for dropping in. This is 2019 US MRE menu 14. But I rated another MRE. I took the chicken chunks out of another US MRE and I threw another retort in that one as a substitute because I wanted to put the chicken in with the fettuccine and see what that does. And that actually worked out really good. I thought that was a good combo. As you can see, there's none of that left on the tray. And I had even put a few cracker bits in there for a little crunch. These are honey mustard bites. They're more like a bread bite, and it's not a real pretzel. It's, I would say, a knockoff on the Schneider's version. They do a honey mustard pretzel, and it's an actual pretzel bite where this is really not. They are not as crunchy as the Snyder's. The mustard isn't as strong as the Snyder's. You know, on theirs, you actually have the salt that you would normally find on a pretzel. They just add the honey mustard flavoring on top of that. Well, that's good, Aletha. You're making progress. But these are still not bad. It's just I would prefer the Snyder's. And of course the Cran Raspberry First Strike bar. This is the best flavor of all the four flavors of the First Strike bars. Because this menu 14 is vegetarian, you don't get as much protein, so instead of a standard drink powder, you get a protein shake. And as you can see by all the splotchiness, these really don't mix all that well. But it's mixed better than the last time I did it. What I did is I poured maybe about 6 ounces of water in the bag, shook it, I let it stand, and then I put another couple ounces in there, shook it again before pouring it into my drinking jar. So, in fact, I might still be a little short because this bottle holds 13 ounces of water, and so there's still it's still up to the top of the F on this label. So I probably still shorted the water a little bit, but it's still mixed up a little bit better than the last time, but these things are notorious for being hard to fully incorporate. And a pumpkin made an appearance earlier. So if you watched this from probably about 20 minutes ago or so, when you watch the replay, you'll see pumpkin. My newest family member that I took in after a friend brought her to me in August, a few days after I got back from my family trip. So she has settled in fine, but she's the typical toddler. She just wants to get everywhere, and I've had to tell her to get off of things or out of things. But she's a lover. When she purrs, she's got a motor running. Whereas Mila, when she purrs, which is very infrequent, you can barely hear it. You literally have to have your ear right up to her head. So Mila's still jealous of Pumpkin and will harass her. And so I have to scold her. But other than that, Pumpkin is a very good girl. She took a few days to really kind of settle in, and she hid for a while. But then she started to come out, and greet me. Just for a little bit at first, she would sniff my finger. Took her a little while before I could at least pat her head. But now she just wants to give me a lot of affection when she's not sleeping or just running around. But I'll post a video now and then so that her former human servants can see her, and I'll post her up on Facebook. I've even put her on TikTok and Snapchat. Yeah, this is the best of the First Strike bars. And as I said earlier, if I had 100 of these, I would be a happy camper. Yep, you got the real fruit. I mean, the two fruits complement each other. That's okay. Thanks for dropping in. Hope to see you in another stream on another day. The apple cinnamon is my least favorite, although I will eat them, and I have. They just have a different texture. And the flavor is not as prominent as it is in this one. The mocha is my second favorite, so I will eat those also if I had a bunch of them. But when I first got a hold of these, that put the mocha down to a second level. Love those. the Commando bars and the other coffee bars they will sometimes put in. I really do enjoy those. There is that pink Commando bar. That's a fruit flavor that I have not been able to get my paws on. Traversing Food, that is his favorite of those bars. The Pâté de Fruit, that's the jelly bar, like the gummy bar. I like those as well. But that fruit flavor Commando bar that's in the pink wrapper, I want to try that. See, the French jelly bars, I call them, the Pâté de Fruit is what the wrapper says. I've probably had about 4 or 5 flavors of those. And they have all been really good. Now, there is, I think, a black currant French jelly bar. Or it's black currant mixed with another fruit. I can't remember. But it's really, really dark colored. That one, I think, is my favorite so far. Out of the different flavors that I've had. Yeah, the apricot one is really good too, but that really dark colored one that I think is black currant or currant blend, that one is my favorite. So I would definitely eat more of those. But all of those French bars I have enjoyed. And I do eat those nougat bars even though they smell strange. They have been in some British ORPs as well. I think they come from the same place or the same manufacturer, I'm not sure. But I will eat those. You know, it doesn't take much for me to get past that weird smell. I mean, I have smelled worse from rations, and I've smelled worse from this building during the reno. Speaking of those rations that Rachel is doing, she is going to knock it out of the park again. If you watch Traversing Food, the one that he put up today, that one looked really, really good. You know, especially that curry one or that garam masala one. I would so dump that over a bed of rice or noodles because I love that flavor profile. Yeah, I'll use garam masala or curry or both in something that I'm cooking to change it up from some other flavors. especially if I'm doing a homemade stew or soup or something with noodles, or putting some kind of meat in with rice. I'll throw some of that stuff in there. Oh yeah, I'll do that. In fact, I will get paid around probably the 29th or the 30th of this month. So that will be my money for November. So that will be when I can drop an order. Yeah, I like fish. You know, the salmon paella and the other salmon ration that Duff from Chile puts out. The cod and salmon entrees from Norwegian Arctic Field Rations. I enjoyed those. And I have eaten canned fishes from Spanish Rations. Yeah, speaking of Orfo, in Steve's video today, Traversing Food, he had the lime tuna from Orfo, and he put that on the Canadian tortillas. Yeah, that was his part of his breakfast in that video that he did that with. I'm just squirting the rest of this peanut butter on this cracker. Yeah, I even, the one Spanish ration that had the squid in it, I even ate that. When it's called calamari. You know, some people will have to stay away from that shellfish. Either not eat it at all, or very, very rarely eat it. My mom is that way. She will eat it maybe once or twice a year. If it's like shrimp, crawfish, lobster. But anything like clams, mussels, scallops, oysters, she can eat those more often because they don't have as much of the iodine content as shrimp or prawns, crawfish, or lobster. I'm not sure about crab though, but she does like crab. But when we had a bunch of food for, see, I think it was Mother's Day. Back in June, we had a local restaurant here do not just the crawfish boil, but basically seafood boil, where they put crabs, mussels, shrimp, crawfish, and lobster into the bags. And the way they do it for these orders, you ask for what you want, then they will put all the ingredients in a bag and basically make a boil and bag meal. So they seal it, they boil it, and that's how you get that. And then you just open the bag and serve it. So that's how we had that. And there was there's all those different kinds of shellfish in there. And that was really, really good. I brought some of that home. And I got some of the mussels. I broke up the mussel shells and put them in my compost. And then I used them, I mixed that with my, the potting soil, or just added that to the potting soil for the plants that I grew this year. I also added busted up eggshells. That would boost up the calcium in that soil. Now that pudding that Steve had, that he put on that cake, that looked really good. Let's see. That's okay. I'm probably gonna end this fairly soon anyway. But Mike, thanks for dropping in. Hope you have a good night. So next Sunday, I will be doing the MCW beef stroganoff. That is a menu I have not had yet. And then the other MCW that I have is I would call it the plain chicken and rice. It's not the Mexican style. It's not the Asian style. So I would call it a plain chicken and rice, even though I'm pretty sure it's seasoned. It just does not have those ethnic type of flavors. Okay, well, thanks for dropping in. So I think I'm going to go ahead and call this one good. I do want to thank you all for watching. And if you were not in the Ration Museum stream earlier, they had some hiccups at the beginning, but check it out. They cataloged some really awesome stuff, some movie props, some older rations and components and tableware, things like that. So really awesome stuff. And there'll be more of that. If not next Sunday, then the Sunday after that, the first Sunday in March, he will definitely be back live. So Sean will post up when his next stream will be. So next Sunday will be October 31st. Now this year has gone by. But again, thanks all for watching and hanging out with me for my amped up fettuccine. So next week, McWb Stroganoff. That should be a good one. So thanks for watching and catch you on the flip side.